Could your child unintentionally spend 29,000 rand? Sounds crazy, right? Let me show you how. Video games. We've all seen them before, but how much do we really know? Modern technologies have changed the gaming landscape and how children play games. It has also invited deceptive and manipulative tactics into our homes. Have you ever heard of microtransactions or loot boxes? Probably not, but here's why you should know more. With the rise of personal computers, consoles, and mobile gaming, came a new challenge that players faced, called microtransactions. So, what are microtransactions? A microtransaction is a type of business model within a game where players can make digital purchases using real-world money to buy additional content within a game. Think of it as digital currency. You spend real-world money and get a digital amount, an amount which is determined by the game developers. So you spend real money to get digital money. Often enough, the value of money becomes blurred, as it appears that you're spending less money to get more. But in reality, the in-game prices are also slightly increased. Another example of a microtransaction is a loot box. What is a loot box? Let's talk about that. Ever wanted to pay for something you've already bought? I didn't think so, but that's how a loot box works. Loot boxes are a key feature used in modern gaming to increase game revenue. Think of it as a virtual treasure chest, or container, which contains a random item that can be used within the game. These items could be costumes, weapons, or even digital currency. Loot boxes share a lot in common with gambling, as it is similar to spinning a wheel and seeing how lucky you get. You spend money to buy something and you don't actually know what it is. You could either win big or lose big. So how does this affect your wallet, and more importantly, your children? Here's how. In recent times, some children have taken their parents' credit cards and spent ridiculous amounts of money through microtransactions and loot boxes. A parent from Scotland reported how her 16-year-old son spent nearly £2,000, approximately 38,900 rands of her money on a basketball game. The son used his mother's credit card, and she didn't realize it until a payment she was trying to make declined. There are many stories of this happening with children across the world, showing that this is a real problem that is on the rise. Now that you know what the problem is, let's go over what it looks like. What do microtransactions and loot boxes look like? If you watch your child playing a game, the best way to identify if it contains microtransactions is to see if it has an online store which is located within the game itself. This is where you will find the items that can be purchased. Remember, not every store requires you to spend real-world money, but the ones that do will display a premium currency option. Premium currency is often unattainable. And the only way to get this premium currency is to pay for it using real-world money. Now let's move on to loot boxes. Loot boxes are often disguised in different ways, but the concept remains the same. You will see a box or card that has no information on it. It will then open up with a variety of flashing lights and sound effects. It is important to remember that all forms of loot boxes have random items within them, and what you get is based on luck. Also, it seems, the game developers ultimately control how much you win and how much you lose. These descriptions will help you identify them, but are a lot to remember, so to make it easier, look out for these 3 icons when purchasing games for your children. Let me tell you about them. The first icon is a warning, telling you this game contains mechanics that aren't suitable for children. This was a redesign of the current FPB icons. It has been designed to tell parents the recommended age restriction to a game. The second icon represents microtransactions. This is a warning that the game could cost more money than you had budgeted for. It is made up of 2 key symbols. The first symbol is a shopping cart. It represents something you put your items in that will be purchased later or immediately when payment is made. The second symbol is a credit card. These 2 symbols were taken and merged to form one icon. This represents the potential financial implications associated with microtransactions. The third icon represents loot boxes. It warns you that this game contains elements of gambling mechanics. The icon utilizes 3 different symbols that represent the core elements of a loot box. The first symbol is an exclamation mark, indicating that this game contains deceptive surprise mechanics. The diamond shape it appears in is similar to a hazardous sign. This represents how loot boxes can also be hazardous to your children. The dice shape further indicates that this game contains elements of gambling. The second symbol is a question mark. This represents the random items contained within loot boxes, and when someone opens one, they are not aware of what they will receive. It's a mystery. The final symbol is a dollar sign, which represents money. This is the most recognizable currency symbol used around the world. This also represents how loot boxes are often purchased, using real-world money. Now that you know all about microtransactions and loot boxes, I hope these icons can serve as a visual reminder and help you decide which games are best suited for your children. But before you go, I have one more important thing to tell you. Some games often help increase hand-eye coordination and stimulate a child's mind, helping them with problem-solving skills, without having any added financial implications. So now that you know more about the games that do contain microtransactions and loot boxes, I hope you are able to make more informed decisions. Thank you for watching.